Hello and welcome to another edition of Astronomy Spotlight. My name is Kirk Rosberg. I'm the planetarium coordinator here at the Hastings Museum. And for February, we've got something interesting for you. Do you remember last month's episode? There was a close pairing of Venus and Saturn in the night sky. Very, very close pairing. Now jump ahead to February 22nd of this year. And again, we are going to be looking westward. There is a pretty close pairing of the waxing crescent moon, which is just 3 days into its monthly cycle, and Jupiter in the night sky. They're very close. If you look very closely at the crescent moon, you will see what looks like a little star right off the edge of the moon. That is Jupiter. Just below, to the lower right of the moon and Jupiter is Venus. So let me turn on my labels. As you can see, the moon and Jupiter very close together, and Venus just below that. All right. So the time right now is about 6:45. 6:45 on February 22nd. Now, let's go ahead. We're going to jump a few days here to the 26th of February. February 26th, as you can see, the moon is sort of out of the way right now, at least in that part of the western sky. I'm going to go just a little bit later. Let's go to, let's make it 7 o'clock even. Make it easy to remember. And now we've got them slightly lower but brighter in the sky as the twilight has mostly disappeared. All right, let me turn on the labels again. All right, so now we can see that Jupiter and Venus are close together in the evening sky at 7 p.m. on February 26th. Now, let's go one more day. The 27th, they get closer. They are getting closer and closer. The two brightest star-like objects of the night sky, they look like they are converging, in fact. All right, so now let us jump ahead another day to February 28th, the last day of the month. And as you can see, Jupiter and Venus are even closer than they were before. Let me turn off the labels. There we go. Venus is brighter. Jupiter not quite as bright. Almost half as bright, actually. But if we go one more day to March 1st, March 1st on the calendar, you will notice that the two planets are as close, almost as close as they can get. Again, two brightest star-like objects in the sky right next to each other on March 1st, low in the west, slightly west-southwest. And if we go just a little bit further in time, or at least during the hour, speed things up a little bit, of course, they get lower and lower. So the time frame that you've got to work with here is roughly from 6:45 p.m. To about 8:30, because at about 8:30 the planets will both set on the 28th, really through the 1st of March. So I hope you will take this opportunity to see the very close pairing this month of Venus and Jupiter in the night sky. By the way, the magnitudes, let's see, Venus is going to be at magnitude minus 3.9, almost as bright as it gets, but not quite. And Jupiter is at magnitude minus 2.1. If you don't quite have a grasp of the magnitude system and how it works, we're going to be looking at that next month. That will be the topic of next month's episode. But with the minus 2.1 versus minus 3.9, Venus is almost twice as bright as Jupiter. However, of course, Jupiter is still pretty bright, brighter than any star in the sky, including Sirius, the brightest star. So there you have it. Remember, the crescent moon and Jupiter on February 22nd, and then starting right after that, on like the 24th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, you do have Jupiter and Venus getting closer together. But after that, after March 1st, as we go forward, you can see the pair begin to separate and go their separate ways. Venus getting higher in the sky, Jupiter getting lower in the sky. And by the end of March, Jupiter is pretty much lost in the twilight. But Venus continues to get higher and brighter. So join me again next month for another episode of Astronomy Spotlight. Thanks for watching.